Maria Makiling, the mountain's keeper. Long before the mountain became a place people climbed for leisure or science, it was a place people lived with, carefully, respectfully, like you would share a home with someone powerful and kind. And at the heart of it was Maria. She did not rule the mountain the way kings ruled land. She tended it. She knew where the rivers should bend, when the soil needed rest, which trees to leave untouched. When storms came, she softened them. When drought threatened, she provided. The people at the base of the mountain understood this, at least at first. They spoke her name with reverence. They only took what they needed, and when they received more than they expected, baskets of fruit left at their doors, crops that flourished beyond reason, they gave thanks. That was how it worked, a quiet, unspoken agreement. Care for the land, and the land will care for you. It was during this time that Maria came to know a young farmer. He was not remarkable in the beginning. That may have been why she trusted him. He worked hard, spoke gently, and treated the mountain with the same care she did. When she first appeared to him, not as a distant spirit, but as a woman, he didn't run, didn't kneel, didn't try to possess what he didn't understand. He simply listened. So she gave. At first, it was small things, healthier crops, guidance when he lost his way in the forest, then more. Rice that never spoiled, fruits that healed, and a kind of abundance that made survival feel less like a struggle and more like a gift. And somewhere in that giving, something human slipped in: affection, trust, maybe even love. But abundance has a way of changing people. What was once gratitude became expectation. What was once enough began to feel like not quite enough anymore. The farmer started taking more than what was offered. Quietly at first, a little extra gold from the mountain's hidden veins, a little more than he needed to trade in the lowlands. He told himself it was harmless. After all, the mountain always provided. Maria would simply give more. Except she hadn't given that. The shift wasn't immediate, but it was undeniable. The balance she had so carefully maintained began to strain. Crops still grew, but something felt off. The air, once light and forgiving, grew heavier, and Maria, who had always known the mountain like her own body, felt the wound before she saw it. When she finally understood what he had done, it wasn't anger that came first. It was heartbreak. Not just because he had taken from her, but because he had broken the one thing that made her willing to give in the first place: trust. He had looked at something sacred and decided it was something he could use. The stories say the earth trembled that day, not violently, not in rage, but in grief, the kind that shifts things quietly but permanently. And then, just as quietly, Maria withdrew. The paths people once used to find her no longer led anywhere. The places where she used to leave her gifts stood empty. The air itself seemed to close, as if the mountain had exhaled for the last time and decided not to breathe out again. She didn't curse the farmer. She didn't punish the village. She didn't take back what she had already given. She simply left. And that absence changed everything. To this day, locals say that when Mount Makiling is covered with clouds, Maria is weeping. When the sun glows gold on its slopes, she's smiling, her forgiveness warming the world again. And sometimes, travelers claim to glimpse her at dusk, walking barefoot through the forest, her hair trailing behind her like a river of night. The story of Maria Makiling is, at its heart, about balance and betrayal, between nature and humanity, love and greed, giving and taking. Like many pre colonial Filipino myths, it doesn't center on gods demanding worship, but on spirits who coexist with people, beings who nurture, protect, and remind humans to tread lightly. Maria is not a vengeful goddess in the Western sense. She doesn't destroy villages or curse generations. Her punishment is absence. When she leaves, abundance fades. Even now, the mountain still bears her name, Bundok Makiling, and her story feels hauntingly relevant. In a time when forests are stripped and rivers are dammed, Maria's quiet withdrawal feels like a warning. When we break the covenant of care with the earth, she does not rage, she retreats. And yet, her myth also holds hope. The mountain remains lush, home to rare orchids, waterfalls, and birds. The people who live nearby still leave offerings, not because they expect miracles, but because they remember. In that remembering, the bond renews.